Welcome to Founder Unboxed, the podcast where we explore the humanness of entrepreneurship. And I'm your host, Kabeer Lal. Today we meet a founder whose journey blends precision, innovation, and care. Dr. Praanesh Kapur, the founder of Six Sigma Dentistry, has refined what modern dentistry can be, bringing together cutting-edge technology, evidence-based practices, and patient-first approach with a focus on quality and consistency. He's built a practice that stands apart in the world of oral health. But beyond the chair and clinic, Dr. Kapur's story is one of relentless learning, entrepreneurial grit, and passion for building something that truly lasts. Stay tuned as we unbox his founder journey that drove him to create Six Sigma Dentistry, the challenges he's faced, and the vision that continues to guide him forward. Welcome, Praanesh. Welcome to Founder Unboxed.
Thank you for having me, Kabeer.
Absolutely. So, let's go back a few years, and in your case, not that many years. So, what kind of a kid were you growing up?
I was, interestingly, if I have to, I have to put it, I would say I was actually a very unimaginative child.
Okay.
I never really got myself into trouble. I was
hard to believe that.
That
now.
is, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, especially with the precedent I've said lately. I never really got myself into trouble. I was somebody who was quite happy with myself and my own company. I remember. We stayed in a community where there weren't too many people or kids my age. Okay. And as a result, my brother still managed to have some kind of friends, and I somehow did not. And so I really learned to entertain myself. And I think, it's quite an advantage even to date.
Yeah. So, how did you do that? Did you draw? Or did you read? Or what were your pastimes?
So, I think I read. I definitely remember I read. And I read, there was these small little pavement libraries in Greater Kailash at that point of time. And I remember I used to always go there and look forward. It wasn't heavy reading. I was not somebody who...
Tintins and the asterisks.
But that's what it was. The Target magazine.
Yeah.
That's something we used to look forward to every month. And just anything that I could get my hands on and which would keep me entertained. It did not necessarily have to be like visual or pictorial, but anything that actually kept me busy, and that's what I did. I love music. I could actually spend a lot of hours just listening to music. When I was, I think, 6 or 7, possibly, I remember that there was some family function, and we got, my brother and myself, we had got this little kitty of money, and with that we had bought this BPL Sanyo small little cassette recorder, a red one, and I think I used it to death.
Wow,
and
this was like and where did you get the music? You bought the music, or you recorded it from the radio, or because
it was more gifted.
Okay,
I still remember it was my mom's sister, my Masi, who had given me my first 2 tapes. I think it was one. The first one was Thriller, Michael Jackson,
nice.
And then there was another one which was like a mixed one with Aha and Tarzan Boy and Madonna, and
those were lovely times and lovely music.
Yeah, that was my introduction to what we would say international music. And but even other than that, my mother was somebody, and my father was somebody who was fond of music. We always had music at home, whether it was religious, whether it was not. There was always music around, and I think that really till date, I mean. I can enjoy it in any form,
Wow, excellent.
whether it is something classical, whether it is new age pop, whether it is metal, whether it is
Wow.
rap. I if it vibes with me, I enjoy it.
Awesome. So that's quite a lot of musical influence on you. But what was some of the earlier influences in terms of role models? Do you think it was your family or maybe some friends, or how were the early years?
Particularly, I would say, I mean, the family does have the biggest influence on you
Yes,
as a
of
child.
course, yeah.
There's no denying that. But within the family, I would say my mother had the strongest influence on me. She was somebody I really looked forward to.
Okay.
And for us, at a the house was such, which was in a very, it was a very happy space.
Okay.
And she was a teacher, which was a great blessing, because even though she was working, it was like having a non-working mother who would
come back around the
she
same
would
time,
be
yeah.
home when we would be home.
Were
And
you studying in the same school she was teaching?
no, she was no.
Because
That
that's
was not
been
the
a
case.
nightmare for me. My mom was also a teacher, and don't get me started there.
It was close, but it was not exactly. But
lucky guy.
yeah, but no, she was thankfully not in the same school.
Okay.
And but it you know, the fact that I spending so much time with her, as I said, I was actually not at all an outdoorsy child.
Okay.
I never stepped out, which is quite unlike to what I am
Yeah,
today.
I know. Man.
And
You've changed.
yeah, things do.
Yeah.
People do, definitely.
Yeah.
And the fact is that because I spent so much time home, we used to have a lot of conversations.
Okay.
And I really, there are so many times that when I sit back and there are these certain moments that come back to me where a conversation that has happened, which is just going to give me gives me a solution to a problem I might be actually struggling with. So it is amazing. And this is right from younger years. I find it interesting now when I look back and I realize that our mother, I would actually say she did this with my brother and me, but that we never were spoken to as children. She actually, now when I think back, she spoke to us as adults. She actually had conversations. She used to share her thoughts. She would sort of always be interested to know what we thought about it, but not necessarily always agree on something. But yeah, conversations we did have, and that, I think that's where the influence really seeped in.
Interesting. So at the same time, did you also, were you close to your brother?
Very. My brother and I were very close to each other till I think about a certain grade.
Okay.
After which, of course, I think he walked into his teenage years, and then you're going through a transformation,
of course,
and he sort of moved on, or not moved away. I don't know. I wouldn't. That's maybe not the right way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got busy with himself or discovering himself, I would say that, right? And I think we all go through that transition. And he was somebody, and I think that turned around after I came back from university. Okay. I think we both had gone through that whole transformative circle.
So that journey, I think one has to take individually or alone.
I think we all do. Whether there's no exception to that. We all go through that journey where we are actually discovering ourselves between 13 and 23, and it really matters and sets a foundation to who we actually become as we grow further. And so my father as well, who was somebody who was not a talkative person. He was not somebody who would be very vocal or about his feelings or thoughts or emotions, which is very contrary to my mother. But he was there. He was always there. You just knew that support system that that a father should provide existed. Yes, it existed. It gave you that security.
And did he run a business, or did he?
My father was in business ever since I knew him. And in fact, I would, if I really think of it, everybody I knew in our family, nearly everybody was into business in some form or the other. So I think business was something that was, I think, maybe in our blood in some way. My grandfather was in business as well.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, I think maybe it's just gone down the generations.
So the foundation that you've seen, despite your mother being a teacher, what you saw examples around you was that business hi karna hai. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correct?
No, actually not.
Okay.
I don't think that when I was growing up, I knew कि मुझे business ही करना है.
Okay.
I think we were kind of, as I said, when we had conversations, it was discussed quite openly what we wanted to do.
Okay.
My family, I would say my mother was very keen that I was actually the black sheep in the family, because I think my entire generation, I was the only one who took science,
Wow.
let alone become a doctor. If I recollect, I dabbled around trying to think maybe I'll become a pilot. I dabbled around thinking maybe I'm going to go into, I remember one of my aunt was in banking, so I used to think maybe I can get into banking.
Okay.
I was a bit all over the place. And there was never, we were never told that you need to get into business. And it was not something that we were just to follow, because we were free to actually do as we please. But only in hindsight can I tell you that all those conversations, maybe on the dining table or later, that I must have heard, definitely helped in whenever I did decide to dive into.
So tell me that point when you decided ke business nahi karna or job nahi lena, but I want to become a doctor. So what was the thought process? I mean, ultimately you are in a business now also, right? So I mean, I'll come to that part, but when you are, a student and you realize that doctor is not a business, it's still like a profession, right? So what was the thought process at that time?
Koi thought process nahi tha.
Okay.
All right. It was not by plan.
Okay.
I will be honest with you. It was something that just came and fell in my lap.
Wow.
Okay. I decided, I of course applied for all engineering and medical entrances at that point of time. I was definitely not smart enough to get in anywhere. And I even ended up joining Bhagat Singh College in BCom honors.
Me too. Yes. Actually, yeah, I was there for 2 days. And then I'm
exactly 2 days. The second day, we got the result for Manipal, and I landed up with the seat.
Okay.
And when I got there, I saw everybody get really flustered about the fact that, oh, will you take medical? Will you take dental? And for me, it was like, no, I'll just get I'll grab what I get. And I couldn't understand what was the big issue about it. My mother was concerned. Are you sure you want to be a dentist? And I'm like, I don't see any harm. So I went into it, and it just happened.
So the profession found you.
I would definitely say that.
Very interesting. And once you started the program, got into college, started medicine, dental, what were the thoughts at that time? And did you at any point in time say, I can't do this? Or were there any second thoughts?
Never.
Third thoughts?
Never. Really? Never. I enjoyed it from the word go. Dentistry has something creative about it. All right, because you are building, creating. It's a very sophisticated job of, it's like you're a fusion of a carpenter and a plumber
you have to be handsy
and an artist, all fused in one, and an engineer, because you're looking at science, you're looking at forces, you're looking at it's all fused in one, and far more sophisticated than any one of them individually.
Little tools to work with.
So I think I loved that creativity about it. And never, for me, it was never, ever even a thought that maybe had walked the wrong path. And when I got into it, as I said, it never even came to my mind that maybe I should think of an alternative. Though I did give CAT exam as well at one point of time, that phase of life when you're just so confused about everything around you. But yeah, I think that was just a blip.
Okay, interesting. So were there any setbacks or roadblocks either in your personal journey at that stage or with the family, and that really changed things for you, and how did it change things for you?
So I don't think there were any setbacks till then. I mean, I would say that I got into, I would say, fairly easily and smoothly got into a professional program.
Okay.
I surprisingly went through it
And did
quite,
well.
quite easily as well. And the change really happened after that. It's only when I went, actually, there were a couple of things that happened. I gave my, the natural path for anybody progression is to go and do your bachelor's and then go ahead and do your master's. When I gave my master's, the first attempt, I remember that Manipal had some 12, 14 seats or some number like that. I mean, we're talking about 1999, 2000, and the number of seats were very, very far and few in the country. And Manipal had, I think, to our disposal, maybe about 12 or 13 or some numbers close to that. And I remember getting a rank of like 20 or 19 and ending up like a waiting list number 2, and which came as a jolt, because that was the first time I actually really faced rejection, right? And it just took me back, and I said, all right, this is something that I did not expect. Everybody else around me, all my friends nearly got through, who were at the same sort of academic standard as I was, so even more so. Well, anyway, I headed back home. I had to pack my bags and head back because now I would need to rethink the path. And when I actually got back, that was the phase when I actually realized that my father's business was also in a certain amount of trouble. All right. And you suddenly realize that, okay, things are, and maybe, I don't know whether it was there from earlier or not, but at least I understood it then, as maybe a 21-year-old. And
I guess you were out of the house for a few years.
I was out for 5 years.
You probably didn't realize that what was brewing back home. So, that could also
exactly.
be the thing.
And I was lucky that for me, I had never experienced any such kind of a stress in the past. Well, I literally, as they say, put my head down. I got a job with this amazing doctor, and he was somebody who really backed me up and really showed me a lot of promise. And I think with his sort of support and encouragement, I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this one really good shot. And I definitely believe that I have it in me that I should be able to get through. I mean, what's a waiting list number 2 rolling into getting a position, right? And I packed bags, put my head down, went back to university, and I literally did like 12 hours in the library, or 14 hours in the library every single day for, 6 months or 8 months. I now lost an idea of how long it was, but a fairly long period of time. Dogged, concerted, complete effort in doing my program. And when I gave my second attempt, I ended up with waiting list number 1.
Oh, Lord.
The second time that rejection happened. But this time I was sure. I was very, very clear that the universe was giving me a sign.
Signal,
And it was telling me, no. It can't happen that 2 times I went and literally touched the door and the door was shut.
Just about.
Actually, and I knew that if I did it the 3rd time, I didn't get through, it would really hit my confidence. And I said, I'm going to take this as a sign, and decided to take a completely different path, and decided to end up maybe explore something overseas. Now, which is something very new back in 2000. It was actually 2000, 2001, because whoever went overseas went to study and settle overseas, whereas I was looking at going overseas only for academics.
Just the education.
So I had to literally, and when I would go to any of these international counselors, they said, we don't even know anybody who comes to us for medical or dental. They only want to come in for those programs which are done to actually start licensing and practicing overseas. So I had to do the entire research myself, and landed up with a program in Australia, in the University of Queensland, Brisbane,
Oh.
and of course realizing that now there was no money available to pay for it.
Oh yeah, because of the your dad's
So
business.
I remember sitting down and having a conversation at home one evening. It's so vividly etched in my mind. My brother, my mom, and my dad sitting, and they say, you know what, we're gonna back you on this, but you gotta bet on yourself. And you got to take a loan, and you have to go further with this. And I think for me that was literally my first experience of growing up, because I went knocking on the doors of banks. An education loan was unheard of.
Wow.
Okay, there were no private banks that gave education loans. Even all the state banks, there were only a select 3 or 4, and the number of afternoons I must have spent at the South Extension branch of Punjab National Bank is not even funny, where I just waited and waited and waited for them to say okay to my papers and to give me money. And I was in a space where I had to tell them, you have to give me everything, buddy. I don't even have money for a ticket.
Oh my God.
So even the ticket was bought from the loan that had been given by the bank.
And back in 2000, I don't think it was very common to take a loan by yourself and then...
At all. And of course, the family backed me, and there was complete support from their side. And, a special shout out here, I must say, to my brother, who just stood like a rock. And he just, every time, he always said, you're just betting on yourself. Remember, you're not playing a risk, because you're betting on yourself. And I think, I took the leap and went and reached Australia and realized that I have only got funds that can make me last for 1 month. 30 days. Wow. And after 30 days, I knew that I had nobody to call back home and say, send me money, because they were fighting their own battle. My brother was starting his own career. He was, of course, having to go through his own challenges at that point of time. And so I knew that I got to figure this out by myself. It was lonely. I couldn't even afford to make a call. New country. I couldn't even afford to make a call back home from being in Manipal, where I at least spoke to them once every week. In front of those STD booths. Here, I was talking to them once a month.
So emotionally, what was going on?
I was distraught. That's the word for it. I was distraught, and I was extremely lonely. I knew this one couple who were there. And I would extended family, you know how we Indians are. We just find somebody everywhere. And I still remember she was also Alka. And I remember that, I used to go and spend maybe a second or third evening with them, just so that I had somebody I could have a word with. And I think about a month or so into the thing, she had said that, I was kind of told that, you may be overstepping the welcome. So I knew that, it was a different way of living. It was nothing wrong with what they were doing. That was the way they lived. That was their lifestyle. I had to adapt to it, right? And I decided I need to get a job. And I remember I tried something at the university. I couldn't take that up because the campus jobs, I was off campus being a dentist and the dental school. So I was spending too much money on travel. I tried to work in a French restaurant for a couple of days, learned the art of serving wine very well. And but luckily, just
I will take you up on that offer.
Yes. And just the way on the second day of Bhagat Singh, I got a call. The same way on the second day of this job, I got a call from a company called Optus, which was it's a Singapore telecommunication Singtel firm. They had just come into Australia. And Australia had only a one telecom country. They were called Telstra. And they came in with all these offers, and they said, we need you to sell these for us. All right. And I got down, and I remember picking up the calls and doing those, those
and these
cold
are early
calls.
Mobile days, right? I mean,
there was no mobile. This is just landline.
Oh my God.
This is just landline and landline plans.
Way back,
it's just, I'm talking about far ago. And I got down, and it was such an amazing experience. I started off just doing calls, soon enough, I had a team to myself.
Wow.
And I said, you know what we can do? I spoke to the manager and said, we can do it better if we go down on the ground.
Okay.
And we got a car for ourselves. And I would take this team of fresh immigrants, travelers who wanted to make a quick buck between, between their travels, and students into this big van, like a Innova. And 8-9 of us used to cram ourselves into it, go find a place, open those big maps, circle an area and say, we're going to go door to door, knocking and telling people that why they need to switch their telephone company.
Did you learn your business development and selling skills from that company?
Definitely think so.
But the focus on medicine was still there, right?
The focus was, of course,
you never
there.
decided कि अच्छा ये छोड़ो यहाँ पैसे मिल रहे हैं.
No, I don't think it ever came to my mind. But I think it was just about going and living, about taking risks, sometimes being adventurous, not always being safe. And at the same time, and I think I really grew up. It was academically not a mind-blowing program for me, but I think it was for me transformative personally. Yes.
So
sure.
This was not the only qualification you got. You went ahead to do another program.
Yes, I realized, I got back and I realized that, now here there was Praanesh back in India, realizing that he is now, Australia gave me a vision about how dentistry can be. Something that I was looking from very, very myopic lenses. And suddenly I realized, wow, there's a different world. And there's so much that can be done even in dentistry, which is not even there available in India. And I felt I wanted to, but I really felt that I still lacked that skill set that was needed for me to start something on my own and be successful.
Which is out of the ordinary, which is not what other people are.
And that's when I sort of, again, as how life rolls, is that I ended up doing about working on dental implants. And I went and did my post-graduation in Canada. Now, if I look back at it, I think it's amazing because I got through Canada only because of what I had, my stint in Australia. And I was a part of a session where there were 4 international students, and I was the only one with the international license because of what I had done in Australia.
But tell me, when you went into your business, did you think that you were setting up an organization, or was just that you will stay solo, earn as much money as you can as a solo?
Definitely not. I knew that I had a vision. I knew I wanted a team. I knew I had spoken to people much beforehand. So when it happened, I just told them, oh, it's happening. You now need to be a part of this. And I always told them that if you're not a part of this, you're going to miss out on something. And what you're going to, if you do join, and you should be joining, because I can't find any silly reason that you're not going to join.
Early investors in Six Sigma. Right?
They invest. I think it was amazing, because I think it's amazing that they bet on me as well, because the confidence maybe that I put across, I don't know what it was, but I was so sure that they don't have a choice. You just need to do this because there is no other way. And I got them along, and I think it was good from the word go. And I have each and every person who joined me in the first 6 months still with me today.
Wow.
So, and I think they are there because of the fact that I have worked for, not just for myself, but towards their growth as well. I have made sure that they have had freedom. I've made sure that they feel that they're a part of this, that that my success or the clinic success is incomplete without them being successful. I would tell them, what's your target? What is it that you want to achieve? Because I will then work towards getting you there. And I think that inclusivity is what really keeps it. I mean, tying you down. And that's why my mother's influence comes in, because she is somebody who really valued relationships. And she was somebody who told me that you need to hold on to the people, and that's what is the most important thing. Money will come and go. I saw that.
Of course.
Good times come and go. I saw that. The one thing that stays with you are the people and the relationships that you create. And And for me, I think that's something, that's a principle on which I have based this entire business on.
So your personality is what shaped the business, really, is that? Or
I would
did
say that, definitely. It is definitely a representative of who I am today. If I heard music as a child, there is not a minute that this practice doesn't have music playing. And it does not, it is not, the patients who jokingly refer to us as the singing dentist, you know, and we don't have instrumental calming music. We have music that we enjoy listening to, something that we want to listen to, and that represent us, and that kind of reflects who we are. And
DJ Praanesh in the house?
I wish I could do that, and maybe that's something I need to pick up. A skill
Absolutely.
set maybe I need to do.
And I love the art in your studio as well. I'm sure there were some artistic influences in your childhood.
Oh,
as well.
definitely. My mother was a painter.
Oh,
My brother is a painter. I think we are creative. My brother can cook like, oh man, so well, and he could give any chef a run for their money.
Oh, brilliant.
And he's got a creative flair. He is an artist in his own way, and my mother was really good as well. She's had her exhibitions and everything too. So yeah, I think it's a lot with the gene pool, maybe. Yeah.
So I mean, moving away from dentistry per se, what would you think, or what would you say is your biggest strength, Praanesh?
Oh, the people. That's what it is. It is the people. You know, I tell you something very interesting. When I was, I think, in 8th grade, all right, I was coming back from an event with my mother. We were in a Maruti 800 car, driving in from somewhere near central Delhi, Gold Market, and driving back towards GK1. And it was, I think, 8 in the evening. And we were crossing a red light, and somebody jumped the light and crashed right into us.
Oh, okay.
Right? I remember, and it was a bad accident, right? I remember getting out. The person, of course, hit and ran.
Okay.
There was a good Samaritan buying watermelons on the side, and he came to us and he says, you know, there's a clinic right next door. Why don't I just take you there? And we were taken there, and I don't remember the details. I remember the fact that I was sitting over there. My mother was more hurt than I was, right? And they were, of course, tending to her first. And they just asked her that, is there somebody we can call? And is there somebody we can inform? And she looked at me and she says, where were we coming from? And where do we stay?
Oh,
and where are we? And, you know, she was completely, I don't know, delirious, or she was in shock. And she couldn't put anything together. And I remember that I freaked out. And I just went to her, held her hand and said, Mom, you know who I am, right?
Okay.
And she said, yes, of course, Praanesh. I know who you are, but what are we doing here? And how did, you know, and of course, I figured out, and I gave the address, and I was old enough at least to be able to inform them and tell them that, you know, whatever. But I remember going to the restroom after that, and looking at myself in the mirror and just actually breaking down. I sat on the throne over there, and I just broke down. And it was that fear that I think I understood that day, what fear of losing a relationship or losing someone was. And I think that emotion has come back to me so many times. It tells me, I think somewhere I really, at a very young age, valued what a relationship is, understood what a relationship is. And I think that for me, that's that. My biggest blessing is my biggest strength, and that is the people around me in every form and way, whether it is at home, whether it is as friends, whether it is the professionals I work with, and whether it is the patients that I deal with. Because the warmth and the love I get from them in turn, I think is also something which is not very natural, which doesn't happen normally. You don't develop relationships with your patients.
So beyond business, money, success, what excites you?
Travel. You figure that one. That's not a
Absolutely.
surprise at all. I think it is the thing
Yeah.
that I look forward to most. And sometimes it's not just about the act of travel. It's
Yeah.
about the build up to it, the homework,
of course,
the
yeah.
research, and what I want to do and where I
So what
want
do
to
you
go and
gain
meet
from
the
the
people.
travel? What do you think you bring back with?
Experiences. I think the most amazing thing about travel is the ability to realize that you're just such a small speck in this entire globe.
Absolutely.
There's just so much out there. There's so much value out there. There's so many experiences out there. There's so much learning out there. And I think that is something that is and it's limitless.
Yeah.
It truly is limitless. And I think that's what really, really excites me about
Awesome.
moving.
And does your family love travel as much as you do, or do you pull them along?
I think it's grown on them. I would say that, but yeah, I think we all have a bit of the travel bug. Yeah.
Awesome.
It tastes good. Who doesn't like alcohol? It gives you a high.
I know, especially little kids. So, if I were to ask you that, if let's say you meet somebody for the first time, what is one value or quality that you'd hope that they would notice about you without talking about it?
Okay. I would, if I don't know, if I meet somebody and not meet somebody, I mean, I would want people to just think of me as somebody who's humane, as somebody who is ethical, who has got empathy, somebody who is beyond just the profession or the business that I represent, the person that I am at the end of it all, I guess. Wonderful. I don't know. I want some people to think that I'm just content and simple. That's about it.
Okay, wonderful. So growth, expansion, diversification, that's all great. And
right.
But is there something that scares you?
No, there's nothing that scares me. Okay, that's a very strong word. Okay. No, it doesn't. What excites me maybe is I would say the technological transformation that my profession is going through. Yeah. And I think it's amazing. I'm suddenly in a space where I feel I'm playing catch up. Wow. And I'm loving it. And I want to learn more, and I want to grab more, and I want to, soak in more. And
you're a child again, and
exactly.
So much.
I think in my entire career, this is that phase of my profession where it's gone through a maximum largest transformation. Okay. And it is something that I'm truly, truly enjoying. And I think there's going to be there's a lot of interesting and good stuff in the years to come. Yes.
Wonderful. So now it's time for our rapid fire questions.
All right. Now this is we're going the coffee with Karan way. All right.
So tell me one business hack that you swear by.
Oh my God.
A business tip or hack.
Okay. One thing, business hack. Okay. I would say that I believe that I am not just a doctor, but also a service provider. And I think that's every medical professional should always remember that. At the end of the day, the patient experience is paramount.
Wonderful. So bedside manner is critical.
And a lot more than that.
So tell me one personal hack, let's say a personal productivity hack that you swear by.
Oh, fitness. Very contrary to what I was as a child, but yes, I believe that there are no gray clouds that can't be shooed away with a good exercise routine or a great run.
Oh, brilliant! And one mindset shift that changed everything for you.
I would say that the day I believed that Six Sigma Dentistry was for me, I was not for Six Sigma Dentistry.
Okay. Interesting. So that's like turning it around on its head. I mean, the paradigm is
absolutely, because you need to. I am the business is for me. I am to make sure it is not going to run my life and govern my life. I need to have my personal time, my space, my balance. I need to pull money out so that it pays for all of that I'm doing, because that's the very reason I started the business. and which is something a lot of entrepreneurs absolutely forget.
Yeah, we kind of become slaves to our own companies, and things kind of get stuck.
Then you become self-employed people.
Self-employed, yeah, true. Thank you so much, Praanesh. It's been absolutely amazing talking and learning from you. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank God it's over. I was quite nervous about this. So thank you so much for this. It was a new experience, and I hope.
Inshallah, we'll do it again. Absolutely.
Inshallah.
So that was Praanesh Unboxed, the founder of Six Sigma Dentistry, sharing not only the science of building a dental practice, but also the art of building life with purpose. What stood out in this conversation is his clarity. Technology and excellence matter, yes, but what truly counts are the relationships. For Dr. Kapur, it's the bond with his family, the trust of his employees, and the loyalty of his clients that define success. Outside the clinic, he is an avid traveler, exploring new places, cultures, and ideas. That curiosity for the world reflects in his own work, always open, always learning, always evolving. I hope you found his journey as inspiring as I did. This is Founder Unboxed, where we explore the humanness of entrepreneurship. And I'm your host, Kabeer Lal, signing off. Until next time. Thank you.